Hi everybody, my name is Fawzi Kadi and I am head of Master Sports Physiology and Medicine at Örebro University.
Yes, I am Diego Montiel, and I'm alumnus from this master program. I'm current PhD student here at Örebro University.
Okay, we have prepared some program here that we would like to go through with you. So if we start with the first slide here, we will go then through some selected slides that we believe can be very important for you, for those of you interested in our master. And we after that we will end up with some of the questions. Yeah, Diego. And in the agenda, we one of the most important question for you is why study this master, and then giving you a detailed overview of the program, and then a view also about on the career and job market.
And then I will talk a bit from my experience through the master, and then we will go over what are the entry requirements and the fees, and how to apply, why to come here to Örebro, and some useful links that you can look to have more information about the master. And then at the end, we will have some time for some questions that might arise during the presentation, or so we can answer.
Yes, so we look forward to the interaction. The master gives you, as you can see here, a unique opportunity to be prepared for doctoral study in the field that we really like, which is exercise physiology and sports medicine, which actually is about how our body adapts to new physiological challenges, which is exercise, and how can we use exercise as lifestyle behavior in order to improve performance, but also to fight against disease and to allow a better aging.
Yes, and the second point is apart from this scientific point, we try to go deep in knowledge about methods, about different concepts that is included in exercise physiology. And from a molecular part, we have some physiological parts, and here,
as you can see here in this picture here in this nice green, pink, and blue, these are muscles that you can see with a microscope from a person that is performing some biking, as you can see here, while measuring oxygen consumption. By the way, this is Diego on a bike while doing one of the tasks during the program. You have a first year where you get more acquainted to research methods, that's research process, and then you go deeper into knowledge in how the human body exercise in molecular terms, and then you learn about methods, and methods are both molecular and they are also physiological. And then you end up the first year with the course about nutrition and physical activity for disease prevention and health promotion, or with a degree project, and then we can go back to that if you want. And the second year is actually that is the year where you do your degree project, which is you choose an area and then you deepen into the area and then you do your experiments, and then at the end of the year you got your master degree.
Is from a career and job market perspective, I will say that this master is really oriented towards research, so it really prepares you for further PhD studies as I would say as a main goal. But also we have experience with some previous students that ended up like physiologists or working in their own field, but with a more specialized.
If you are a physiotherapist, for instance, you can go back to your practice and have your physical therapy, but with more knowledge in exercise physiology. If you are working with sport clubs, you can also get more knowledge in exercise physiology and can import this knowledge to your club, etc.
From my point of view as a previous student, my background is in sports science. I did a long degree in Spain in sports science, and the main point about the master is I think it's really give you all the needed skills to continue with further doctoral studies. You are gonna cover all the aspect of research, from methods to how design your research question, how to go through a statistic, what method you can use to solve your questions, up to the point that you can write a research sounds manuscript. I focused my thesis on aging biomarkers, in this case was telomeres, and the relationship with the physical activity in old people. And if I have to recommend this master to someone, I will say that you should be a curious person, be really interested in a research-oriented education, and also to be able to work a high pace. Like the content is I will say is really dense during the time. Is just 2 years to cover many aspects in research. So the pace is quite high, and sometimes you will have to work on your own, and sometimes you will have works as a part of a small team. So I think that's 3 points are the most important to join the master. And after the master, I applied for PhD in here, and there was a position that I could get. So I think it is the line within the master and the future perspective is clear in that sense.
In addition to this, to the perspective of Diego here, so I can say that that some other master students get PhD students in other countries, in UK, for instance, or in other places in
The
Sweden.
NASA. The NASA, we have the
Yes, in US, yes. So there are after completing this master, you are eligible to many PhD positions within the field in all over the world.
Yeah, in fact, I will say that most of the people who went through the program has ended up doing a PhD, as you say, as in Sweden or out of Sweden.
Abroad,
so,
this slide is a slide where there are the requirements for the program, but this slide, I believe that you can get much more information by looking at the addresses we will show you at the end of these slides, and by contacting our administration, who will give you much more details. This is also very important, and all this information is found in the address shown here. Yes, and you can the application will open. So if you are interested in this program, so you are just a click from being admitted.
From my experience for the application, it's good not to leave it for the last day. That 15th of January is the deadline, but it's good that you have all the papers needed. So read well the instructions and have everything prepared because then after can be a bit stressful if you leave it for the last day to apply.
Here you have some small pieces here of a puzzle, which makes this program interesting. You are in a university that is highly ranked in Sweden and abroad. You are in close contact with researchers, as Diego now mentioned. The work at the master is performed in close contact with researchers. There is a university put a lot of efforts into helping in finding accommodation, which is not easy in many countries. So our university does a lot for that. There is an introduction program where you go through a whole university, not only university in Örebro.
And also you get in contact with in this case all the international master students, and you go through all the small details how to handle your day by day here at the university, the library, the gym. So, and that is, I think, is around 2 weeks. So you get to know all the students and also how the dynamic here within the university, and I think is quite interesting.
And during the master, you will be together with other Swedish students, so which is a fantastic opportunity to meet people from Sweden, and which is could be a very interesting experience in your life. And here are the useful links that I was mentioning earlier about details about the program, application, general information, and finally, finally here you can see a general question to international master, or contest C and free mover. So now it is time for your questions and all what you wonder about the program. Diego and myself are here, and just wait your questions.
Yeah. Yeah, we can. We have here some questions from before, so I can read some of them and we can go over the answers. For example, what are the opportunities for international students? If you mean the opportunities to enter in the master, I will say is if you meet the requirements, you are positioned in a depending of your background in a list, and then there is a number of places, but I don't think there is priority between international or Swedish. It's the same. So,
yes.
So opportunities, as long as you have the background, you have the chance.
You have the chance to enter. Yes. And now we can see that we have a question that some of you out there have asked. I read the answer. Dear sir, I'm graduated with engineer bachelor at 2013, and I'm studying now physical education.
Diploma.
2019, and I'm asking, is that enough to make a master university? And the answer is, of course, if you have a diploma in physical education and you have some points into exercise physiology, then with your diploma and with the point that you have in exercise physiology, then you will probably be eligible. And as we said earlier, so send an application, and we have here a department that will handle all the application and make all the checks. So just with the background that you have, just send an application.
No. We have another questions here that is, can I find a job in Sweden as international graduate after completing that course? I will say if you can apply to the PhD position. PhD positions here in Sweden are like, they need to be public, and then you apply, and if you get the chance, you can continue. But I will say that is possible, and as we say, most of the students ended up doing PhD here or somewhere else.
And PhD is a position in Sweden. Yes, so it's a position, and which means that you can apply for positions in Sweden. And of course, if you have your initial bachelor degree, for instance, in physical therapy or in other fields, so which means that you have all the opportunities to apply for positions. Okay, let's take another question here. We have. Are there any practical phases during the education? And I will start answering this question, and then Diego will fill in here. There are practical phases, because exercise physiology is taught as theoretical the first semester, but then the second semester is practical courses. And what I would like really to stress here is that the second year, which is nearly the second year, is made of the master degree. The master degree is practical work and research process all the year.
So it's almost 3/4 of the course.
Yes,
is practical.
Yes,
Yeah, and
Yes.
yeah, and say, can we complete the program also in 1 year? And if so, when it is the time that we have to decide that? This one actually,
I think there is in Sweden, we have the possibility to end the first year with the master year 1, it's called, and then which means that it's not master year 2 though, so it's not the full points. It's you got only the points for 1 year, and this master this thesis that you write, master year 1, you have to choose that you will write it in the first semester, and then you have then in the first semester to decide I will end up my first year with a thesis, and which means that you will do a thesis during 10 weeks. It's a smaller thesis, so it gives you only the master year 1.
I will say that in terms of practice, I would recommend to do the 2 years and do the long degree project, and instead of going through the small degree project the first year, to take one, for example, the optional course we have in nutritional physical activity, so you will have more tools to work after in your degree project and
exactly
and experience. So I will recommend to go to the second year, but yes, of course you have the options to do also the small one.
Yes, we have we are guys waiting for your questions, but we have some here already. We can take this one. Can I work while studying? Your question, to answer to your question first, we, as Diego mentioned earlier, so you have to know that the workload in the master is, or the master work is very demanding, which means that you need to put a lot of energy. But aside from that, it is possible to have a small job, part job, because there are still some possibilities, and during some periods maybe the workload is less. So theoretically, yes, you have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah. Well, as I say, I will not recommend during to work during the educational period, but of course you have like summer or something that's maybe you can use these periods to have small jobs and do it. And there is a question here about are there any scholarships, especially for the sports medicine program or in the sport field? I think there is no scholarships. What I got when I applied was, if you are from EU, you don't need to pay the fee. So this is a big quantity of money that you will not have to pay in case you are from the EU. And I will contact with the international office also to ask about if you come from another country, from your specific country, if they have a special scholarship. I got a small scholarship from a foundation, but that is depending on your country, but not from, I will not say from our department. We have
from as head of the master, I can tell you that we don't have scholarships for the sports medicine program. However, Örebro University has scholarships, but that cover the whole university, and there are very few, like 4 or 5. So there are non-specific to sports medicine, but for the Örebro University there are, but there are very, very few. And now we see that we have some of you guys have sent a question, and I read the question. I have a grade of 6 overall on ELTS, but the requirement is for 6.5. Do I still have some chances to be accepted?
I know this question well, because that's the English examination. I will say that the first filter is the university admission. That is, I think, centralized in Sweden.
Yeah.
And I will say most likely, if the requirement is not met, they put you in hold, or they say no. It's not something that here is taking the decision. It's more university admission, see that the requirement is not met, and then, because I had experience with this theme before, and usually
but as I said previously, I think Diego, to answer your question, send an application, because we have an admission department, and they can evaluate your specific case.
Also,
and in case you have some more knowledge in exercise physiology, etc., that could actually balance. And of course, you have to know that requirements for entry, these are criteria that change they could change every 2 years. So I recommend you to or the answer to your question is send an application.
Yeah. And the first one.
Yeah, I can read another question that we got is the question is as follow: I would like to prepare myself for the master, so do you have any recommendations like books or papers which are good for that? Diego, do you have some suggestions?
I would say enjoy the summer.
Yeah, that's true.
Get the energy full, and then when you come here, you will be full of literature to read and articles and papers. So if you have a background that fits with the master, you can read maybe about methods, a bit about the statistics, but I will say enjoy the summer, because after it's gonna
enjoy the summer. But I will just add to Diego's answer. There are plenty of books in exercise physiology, like McCardle or Costil and Wilmore, and the name of the textbooks are Exercise Physiology. So there are plenty of them. So I recommend, if you want to have a good reading, to read an exercise physiology book, and there are plenty of them. And as I said, some very famous are McCardle or William and Costilia. I have another question. I am a PT, but was graduated BSPT in the Philippines, where I studied in English totally. What are specific requirements for me to apply for that master course? There are no specific requirements for you. The requirements are for the program. So as to answer your question is that send an application. I can tell you here that your education as a PT is we have a lot of PTs that take our master. So PT is one of the main student populations in our master, apart from exercise physiology, exercise sports science students. So you have great chances to be admitted if you apply.
Yeah. So if there is no more questions, I think.
If there is no more questions, yeah, we would like to thank you and wish you good luck with your studies, and we are waiting your future application.
Yeah.